Hi, I'm Magda from the Wnętrza Zewnętrza channel. We're going to discuss decluttering your home this time. Honestly, I may not be a decluttering expert, though I do have a lot of experience with it. When I moved into this apartment, it was already furnished and had a lot of different accessories. For example, the kitchen was fully equipped, and I arrived with my things, which were a complete set of kitchen equipment. So at the beginning, there was just furniture everywhere, things everywhere, boxes, both mine and those left by the previous tenants. A mishmash of all sorts of things, and I just had to gradually sort through it and get rid of it. Probably a lot of people still think I have too many things, but honestly, I don't care at all because I just like having a lot of things. Thanks to the fact that I don't buy too much, it's not like things pile up quickly here, and of course from time to time you still need to go through everything. But what helped me the most was better matching the furniture to my needs. For example, when I bought 2 large wardrobes with drawers and shelves, it suddenly turned out that all my stationery finally had its own place. It's true that I still have a problem with my paints because I just need to have them at hand by the easel, and by the easel I only have a little cart, and on the cart things are stacked up in a pile. So it's not the most optimal solution, but I'll probably work it out someday. For now, it's fine as it is. And I'm not really making this video to talk about my own experience, but to share a few tips from this book with you. Jak odgracić do mnie wpadając w rozpacz? Wygraj walkę z nadmiotem. This is an American book and it's very much rooted in the American context, so I'll start with what I definitely disagree with. The author believes that we should adjust the number of things we own to the space we have in our home. When we have just one wardrobe for clothes, we should have only as many clothes as will fit in that wardrobe. And of course, when you talk about this from the perspective of a 150 square meter house for a family of 4, there may be a lot of truth to it. However, the reality is that many people live in spaces that are too small, and it doesn't mean they have to give up their passions and interests just to keep their home visually tidy. It shouldn't work like that. And of course, we won't solve the problem of spaces being too small so quickly and easily. So sometimes it's just better to accept that in some areas of our home there might be a little bit of chaos. Because we accept this compromise so we can keep doing what we like and use the things we need. It may turn out that you can't find the right place for everything, and that's okay too. That's just how life is. But of course, if we have enough space, it's worth considering actually adapting to that space. However, I would also like to point out the furniture, because as I mentioned, and as was the case for me, choosing the right furniture for what we want to store is a better solution than trying to fit our things into whatever furniture happens to be in the apartment. So if someone is interested in fashion and wants to have a more extensive wardrobe, but only has an old low closet, maybe it's better to give it away to someone and replace it with a custom-made wardrobe, all the way up to the ceiling where you can fit more clothes and access them comfortably. The apartment I live in now is 100 square meters, while my previous one was just over 40, so as you can see, the space has more than doubled. And yet, the things I easily stored in my previous apartment were hard to organize here, because there I had a walk-in closet and an extra storage room, which was a small space. There was a door, and once you went in, you could really only use 3 sides of the room. There were deep shelves, and here there are 2 closets, but in those closets there were only 5 shelves. Well, it wasn't really a lot considering the size of the whole apartment, and they were hard to access. Only now, after years, when I removed some of the hanging rods and have more shelves, and I put in a dresser and added some wardrobes, now I feel like things finally have their place. When there's something new, I still have space in the closet where I can put it away. Of course, it's not always obvious to me where to put something completely new when it comes into the house, and sometimes I need time to think about it. However, I only had that space because of the right furniture, not because I got rid of half of my things. Now that we've discussed this important aspect, let's move on to less controversial advice. It's better to start with what's visible, because that's more motivating, and I fully agree with that. Although for a long time I had a strategy where my drawers were organized, but the things that didn't have their own place were left out in the open, so that I would remember to find a place for them or take care of them, put them up for sale, give them away, whatever. They were out in the open. And now looking back, I think that's not a good strategy. It's definitely better to keep the visible areas tidy so that we can enjoy the pleasant space of our home every day. It's hard to declutter the whole house at once. Usually, when we start with one thing, it's great if we even finish it at all, but we definitely won't move on to all the other drawers, cabinets, and surfaces at once. We have to break it down somehow, and each time we start from a different place, because life goes on in the house and things are always moving around. That's why I really agree that it's better to start with the most pressing things, the ones you can see, the big ones. Taking out some bigger boxes is definitely more impressive and satisfying than organizing hair ties by color in a drawer, right? For me, it was a big help to plan space in the cabinets for unexpected things. In the dresser you see there, I have a drawer with no specific purpose. I didn't plan any specific purpose for it, and right now it's full of things and I'll just have to go through them eventually. Throw away unnecessary papers and take things that will find their place to where they belong. And for now, everything is just hidden in the drawer and it doesn't bother me on a daily basis. Of course, that doesn't mean there's always perfect order around me. It's definitely not like that, even now. Here, next to me, the table surface isn't completely clean at all. I have a piece of plywood here and my son's plywood toy, along with all its accessories. I need to take it back to his room. I have a hairbrush. Well, because I'm recording, I wanted to brush my hair beforehand. I have headphones because just before recording, I was recording a podcast and I needed them. No, I'm not making my own podcast. I was a guest. I also have tissues here, a camera case, a lens cap. I see scissors and tape, so it's a mess. But luckily, this mess will be easy to clean up. It's better to give things away than to sell them. And that's truly golden advice. And the whole chapter where the author discussed this topic is very close to my heart. What's more, it's not that easy to give things away because once you gather all the things you don't need, like I did here shortly after moving, it's a mishmash of various categories, and a lot of the items are definitely of little value. And you can try, for example, posting them on groups like Shmicharka or putting ads on OLX, but photographing and listing each item takes some effort. And then someone arranges with me to pick up a paper towel holder, and I have to spend some time on that. I have to schedule it, be home at the agreed time, and if someone doesn't show up, I have to start over with someone else. It's time-consuming. It's hard to get rid of a lot of things this way, and let's be honest, we're not going to make a fortune on things like a paper towel holder. So even if we're not selling, just giving things away, it can still be a lot of work. And that's why it's worth knowing how to get rid of larger amounts of things at once. And here I can recommend various community sharing centers available in different big cities. There are several in Warsaw. These are places that resemble stores. There are things on the shelves. However, you can take anything and you can also bring and leave anything. It's important to keep things organized and to put the right items on the right shelves so that everything is sorted by category and it's easy for others to look through. Since I discovered this way of getting rid of things, things in my life have gone much more smoothly. Because sometimes it's really hard to just get rid of unnecessary things. Somehow, it always works out. But usually, figuring out a way for each category of things takes energy, time, and commitment all over again. And when we're decluttering, we should move forward as quickly as possible to get it over with. Because let's be honest, we usually don't have much time. And tidying up is very time consuming. So if we ever want to finish it, we have to move very quickly. Do I recommend this book to you? It depends. If you feel overwhelmed by the things around you, then I think this book can definitely motivate you. Is this book incredibly groundbreaking, and does it introduce any really new topics when it comes to cleaning? I wouldn't say so. But I think that when it comes to cluttered homes, any motivation is good if it helps you just get started. The author is definitely understanding. She gives us space to adapt her advice to our current needs and abilities, and she is very down to earth. Her advice is really practical, and the whole thing is written in clear, simple language, so it's pleasant to read. You can find this book, as well as many other interior design and home-related books, in our store at wneterzazovnetra.pl, and now it's time to say goodbye. I encourage you to leave a thumbs up, share your experiences in the comments, and subscribe to the channel because more videos will be coming soon. Bye!